Welcome to Conversation with Zaki Baruti, with your host Zaki Baruti. And like always, I want to give a shout out to my biological family. What's happening? To the Universal African Peoples Organization family, what's going on? And to New Life Evangelistic Center family headed by Reverend Rice. Keep up the great work. And a shout out to our amazing cameraman Bob. On that note, we're going to have another great show because in studio with me is a brother of the struggle, as I call it, that's been very involved in social change and speaking truth to power. And he is the chapter head president of the local NAACP. Brother Adolphus Pruitt. What's going on there, sir?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Always good to be in your company.
Well, likewise. Adolphus, whenever I begin the programs, I'd like for my audience to know a little bit about the person, background, life, or what have you. For whatever you want folks to know about Adolphus Pruitt, would you share?
Well, I ain't no kin to Trump.
You don't kin to Trump, man. Good God Almighty. That's a shame. The best president ever of the United States.
I'm just saying. Let's get that straight first.
All right.
But you know what? I didn't have to tell people that because I'm quite sure people know that ain't nobody as dark as me probably wearing that name. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You just raised an interesting thing. I wonder if there are any brothers and sisters out here who carries his name. Has the last name Trump.
It might be in there. Wait to take a look at that. Wait to take a look at that. That may be, what you say, there may be some black cherries on the tree.
So on that note, though, going
I'm
back.
Sorry. No, we had to have a little fun.
Streak
Well, we ain't nothing like having a little fun.
In the midst of all this madness that
Man,
and
you're absolutely right. I was born here in St. Louis, raised in West St. Louis and North St. Louis, and graduated from St. Louis Public Schools, the first class of the Visual Performing Arts High School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had a band in high school, and we played all over the city. I played trumpet and trombone.
Is that right?
I played with. Remember, Casa used to have a jazz band, and Casa, we used to play with them, and we played all over the city during the summer.
Okay.
Pete Tower was playing with us, and Michael Chun, all of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played. And
so could you play though?
I made it, man.
I'm sorry, man.
Wait a minute. They never problem put me in public. they never problem let me play in public, but that don't mean I could play.
Well, let me share this for me. High school, I played baseball, but I always say they put me in the wrong position. They had me as a pitcher, and I'll never forget when the coach brought me in to do some relief pitching, and I was able to retire the last two innings of the opposing team.
Right.
He was high on me. So we played a school over here in St. Louis. I was at Lincoln High School.
Right.
And every time, and this was, playing some brothers really.
Right.
And the other school was basically white.
Right.
I got them out. But every time I threw a ball up to the plate, I kept looking. They didn't let me pitch no more. But anyway.
They didn't want you to get whiplash. But no, I did that. And I went to Tuskegee, came back and finished up at Missouri Baptist. And I've been in and out of here for a little while now.
So what did you get your degree in?
Business administration and accounting.
Okay.
Now, actually, I walked into Covenant for just a very brief moment. I seminary. I wanted to preach.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. We won't go that too far in there. That's why not. But anyway, what motivated you, and then we'll get into some of the subjects for today. So what motivated you, first of all, to be an activist, to get involved, and then why the NAACP?
So, I'll never forget that. All my life, I've been always interested in history, black history, struggle. That's how I got to Tuskegee, because my love for the work that Chappie James was doing. A lot of folks don't understand that during the height of the Cold War in this country, the person to defend this country that ran the command, SAC, the Strategic Air Command, was General Black Guy, General Chappie James.
Right.
You know, so so to keep the Russians off of us, he was the one doing it. You know, and so I always did that, and that's why I chose to go to Tuskegee when I went down there. So I've always had that piece in me. But I was the twins, Melvin and Marvin with Action and Percy Green. I remember Afro Day in the Park from a young person, and brother-in-laws were always involved with Action and out there. So activism has always been the a thing. But I will tell you something make you laugh. The one time I got mad, just furious, as a teenager, me and some of the fellas, we sitting out talking, and back then we was talking about the revolution, the Black Revolution. And a friend of mine looked at me and said, "Ain't gonna be no Black Revolution." I said, "Why you say that?" He said, "Who gonna run it?" I said, "What you mean?" He said, "It's middle class." He said, "The black middle class ain't ready to run it, and if they don't do it, who's gonna do it?" And that struck a chord in me, but it meant something. And so life went on. Then eventually, Harold Crumpton. I don't know if you remember Harold Crumpton.
I remember Harold. Right.
Was president in NAACP and asked me to join, and I told him I didn't think that made any sense for me. I was a business person at that time, doing real estate development, having a good time. And I said, "One for me." He said, I said, "Plus NAACP ain't effective." And he said, "Well, the reason why, because we can't get people like you to join." And I said, "Ooh, you make a point." So I joined and have been, I think, knocking it out the park every once in a while since I've been in there.
You know what, you made a very important point, though, in terms of your thought wave there, that didn't make a difference. Why is it important? You're a member, head of the NAACP, I head the Universal African People's Organization, and you got other organizations out there, but they do not have people capacity nowhere near where it should be. Why is it important to be involved in an organization? People, when he was saying about the middle class ain't going to do nothing, I mean, what would be your message on that end?
So the bottom line is this: numbers always count.
That's right.
They always count. They count in the elections. They count in the streets. They count at war. They count. Numbers always count, and they really count when they are cohesive. See, you can have all the numbers in your world, but if they're not cohesive, if everybody's not moving in the same direction and working in conjunction and together, then the numbers don't mean nothing. But cohesive numbers mean a lot, and folks should really wake up and understand that since the last election. I mean, that told it all. It told it all. The numbers counted.
Absolutely. Now, as head of the NAACP, what would be what you consider a couple of your top notable achievements here in the area?
Yeah, we was talking about that a little earlier. Good example. The first thing I did is they made me the chairman of economic development. And I did a white paper on the lack of minorities in biosciences, because at that time, the city was saying we're going to create this bioscience economy, and Cortex was coming. And I did a paper on it. Eventually, we wound up using that paper to fight against Cortex getting their tax credits. That time,
and Cortex, a major.
Cortex is the Center for the Center for Advanced Technology. That's out there. If you go on Forest Park from Vanderbilt to Bowen's Hospital, right? I mean,
it's a sizable corporation, a business, right?
It's a great effort to bring technology to the city.
Okay, on that point, we all need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
May God bless all you faithful listeners and viewers of the Zaki Baruti Show as you reach out and help those in need. All of us as people of faith are going to have to rise up and help so many that are hurting and in need. Right now at the New Life Evangelistic Center, not only do we have to feed hundreds of people every day that are sleeping outside, but many that are coming to our facilities, for example, in Springfield, Missouri, and those that are getting help through our safe houses and outreach centers at the New Life Evangelistic Center throughout the greater St. Louis area. They all have to be fed, and they don't get their food stamps, they don't get direct assistance. We have to just continue to reach deeper and cry out further unto the Almighty God to work through caring people like you. So I'm asking you to please let God's light and love flow through you at this time. Bring your food to 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, 806 North Jefferson and Springfield. Please send your tax-deductible gifts now to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. And when you send your gift in, ask for a free copy of the new Zoa free paper, Celebration of Hope. All kinds of testimonials are in here, all kinds of inspirational articles for you during this holiday season. Again, please pray for New Life Evangelistic Center. Please send your much-needed tax-deductible gifts so we can feed the hungry and help the homeless to New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. And when you do, ask for a copy of the New Life Zoa free paper, Celebration of Hope edition. Your faith will be stirred, and you will have an opportunity to help so many right now that don't know what to do or where to go. We're encouraging them to trust in the Lord with all their heart. He'll never leave nor forsake them. And we're also directly trying to help them in their time of need. Please continue to pray for New Life Evangelistic Center. Please continue to share at this time and know that your gift goes a long way as you pray, care, and share with the center that's on the front lines.
God loves a cheerful giver. Even though things are really tough right now, you can make a difference in the lives of so many. New Life has been doing this work for 50 years, and we have seen God's gracious goodness through people like you who have participated in this work. There are so many people who are suffering. More people are becoming homeless for the first time with the rising costs of inflation and food and housing and so many other commodities. We need help. You can make a difference today in the lives of so many by giving your tax-deductible gift to P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. Or go to newlifeevangelisticcenter.org or call to get involved in this incredible work.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In studio with me is Adolphus Pruitt, the president of the St. Louis branch of the NAACP. On the other side of the break, you were projecting in terms of the achievement of you being able to make a dent in terms of what the hiring practices of
the exposing and opening up a pipeline for minorities to be involved in emerging technology, especially the biosciences, more in particular. The one other thing was that, at that time also the Missouri Housing Development Corporation, which issued all of the low-income housing tax credits, minorities were not getting their fair share of participation on the contracting and professional service sides. So we wrote the concept of emerging business for that program, got with the director. It took a little while, but it became a staple in all applications for tax credits across the state of Missouri, where it had goals for minority participation in contracting and professional services. And so over the years, that's created $600 million that went in the hands of minority contractors and stuff. And then we built on that and started getting the disparity studies in the city, the county. I helped write the county's ordinance for minority participation. They didn't even have one at the time.
Now, what is a disparity study for our audience?
So disparity study basically, it looks at government spending, looks at a government entity and looks at the dollars they spend and look at how many of those dollars go to women businesses, how many of those dollars are being spent with minority businesses. And if there's a disparity, for instance, the last disparity study for the city said that between minority and women, the disparity now is up to 40-something%. Prior to that, it was like 20-something, 25 and 5.
You're saying disparity in terms of that meaning what again?
That means that's a gap. That means that at minimum, minorities should be making 25% of the dollars, a quarter out of every dollar, and right now they getting maybe 10 cents or 15 cents out of every dollar, and that's what the disparity study means. Except we've been making headway over the past 10 years. So I love to look at the fact that that's happened, and we put over $3 billion over the past 10 years in the pockets of minority and women contractors and professional service providers.
So with that said, most recently, in that you did that white paper back then, you have currently distributed a minority and women business enterprise participation advocacy results, 10 years, and you got them by numbers. Explain that. Explain what.
So the best example, one example is, which Zaki, you just biggest part of as anybody else, is MSD. MSD.
And MSD for some of our audiences.
Yeah, the Metropolitan Sewer District. MSD said, hey, the EPA says we got to fix the sewer system. MSD said we're gonna raise the rates. We got to spend $4 billion to fix the sewer system. And we got together and UAPO, NAACP, MOCAN, CBTU, all of us got together and pushed MSD to come up with a community benefits agreement. And they did, and they signed it. And we've been having them make sure that they spend money on minorities and women. And that's, up to now, they've spent at least, about $500 million with minority and women-owned businesses. And we can go down the list. The same thing we did with the one at the Midtown redevelopment with SLU. Of course, you guys were a part of that also. And they're up there. At the end of the day, taxpayer dollars, all of us put in.
Right. Yeah, historically, we put in, but weren't getting anything.
So we didn't get our fair share back, and we just making sure we get our fair share back.
Right. So, I see that you had made mention of the Missouri Housing Development Corporation, Missouri Development Finance Board, Cortez, that you had already mentioned, Innovation Community Contractors Loan Fund, BJC. What is BJC for?
Barnes Jewish Christian Hospital, BJC. They did the right thing.
And Ballpark Village, Metropolitan Sewer District, St. Louis Midtown Redevelopment Corporation, St. Louis County Government, St. Louis City Government, and the St. Louis Community College District. And you got a total figure in terms of for that 10-year period. And that 10-year period of them giving back, not giving back, but we getting some share of the dollars.
Some share.
What was that total figure?
$3.4 billion.
$3.4 billion.
Okay,
on that note, we're going to have to take another break.
So many people are hurting and hopeless. They feel despondent and in despair. They are living on the streets in conditions that are horrible and not suitable for any human being. And it takes so many loving people to walk alongside them and give them opportunities to change. Zaki Baruti and his show is exposing the people who are making a real difference in our community. And he's been a faithful partner of New Life Evangelistic Center for many years. And I want to invite you to be like Zaki Baruti and make an impact in someone's life today. You can love others well, and you can do it in a meaningful and powerful way. I am so thankful for people who have partnered like Zaki, and I just want to share some of the impacts that you're really making when you partner with New Life Evangelistic Center. You're offering 365 days of care for a woman in need who's fleeing domestic abuse. You're offering not just care, but discipleship and mentorship and training services for her. Not only are you doing that, you're also getting hygiene kits and survival gears into the hand of people who need them, who are living on the streets of St. Louis. Not only that, but you're caring for orphans and widows in India, and you're preaching the gospel in every single one of these places, India, Ukraine, and all throughout mid-Missouri. You're also helping hundreds of people each day in the day center in Springfield. You're making a real impact on the lives of hundreds every single day. And you do that when you partner alongside New Life Evangelistic Center, along with faithful partners like Zaki Baruti. How I thank God for people like you, for for change.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In studio with me, Adolphus Pruitt of the St. Louis chapter of the NAACP, and we're discussing getting our fair share of the dollars that we put into large corporations, or public entities, shall I say. And you had shared it was over a 10-year period that NAACP did a concrete study as to how much money that we were receiving in terms of for businesses. Now, did that include workers itself or just for business?
Workers, and we're working on a separate one, but for workers also, because at the end of the day, when in the construction business, the largest share of dollars spent are for hourly wages that is paid to workers, not on the material. It's what's been going in the hand of workers, and so. If you don't count those dollars, that's where we're making the biggest mistake. Because at the end of the day, those are the people that take money home and take it back to their community and take it back to their homes. And that's what they use to keep a roof over their head and to feed their kids. And so the issue we're running into now more than anything else is that a lot of these contractors and a lot of projects require you to be part of a union.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And when you go to the union, that's the workforce they had to pull from, and we're only 4% in there. Right. So the vast majority of projects that require to be a union project, when you go look at the site, that money ain't going in the pockets of people that look like me and you, Zaki. And the problem is, and it's been that way for centuries.
Right. So that's another battle that we have to engage in if we don't get our fair share. Now, out of your study, did you find any, were you totally satisfied with the outcomes of?
With some of them and some of them not. I mean, there's no reason for St. Louis County to be at the bottom of the scale. When they spend dollars out there, African American women, we're not getting our fair share nowhere near. The city, the numbers have been low, but they've been building up every year. And this last year, we got as closer to the goal as possible. But now that we got to a point, now here's Zaki, we're supposed to be at 25-5. It took us well over 15 years to get up to 25-5. But since then, the amount of capacity for blacks to do more work has increased. So with the recent study, now the study says instead of being 25-5, it needs to be 43. Right. Which means now going forward, we climbing the same hill.
For our audience and educating the audience, when you said 25-5, what do you mean by that?
25 cents out of every dollar should be going to a minority business. 5 cents out of every dollar at least should be going to a woman-owned business. That's the 25-5. And now those numbers said jointly, and those both add up to 30%. They saying now that joint number is 43%. So again, it's like you start running in weights and you catch up with the person in front of you, then they take off.
Yeah. So with that said, and we're not where we should be, what are you advocating, or what do you advocate in terms for those who's listening? How can they be a part of making that right, where we get our fair share?
More than anything else, they should demand that their government spend the dollars in an equitable way. If you're putting dollars in, you should be following and demanding that you know where the dollars go out, and that they tell you whether those dollars are going to minorities and women or not. And if they're not, you should let them know about it, and you should definitely let them know when it comes to the ballot box. When the elected official come to you and says, hey, vote for me, here's what I want to do, the first thing you should ask them is, can you tell me how much of my tax dollars are going to people that look like me?
I know that's right.
And if they can't tell you that,
then boom. Okay, on that note, we're going to take another break, our last break.
Do you have any idea how many people are having to sleep outside? Yes, viewers of the Zaki Baruti Show, you are being called into action at this time. Your help is urgently needed here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. Our teams are going out every day And we need your prayers. We need your gifts here because we receive no city, state, or federal dollars. How many times I have to personally run to the store in order to just buy meat and bread? People could be making sandwiches and bringing them to the doors here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. They could be buying cases of water and bringing them here so we can get these out to the homeless people. 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. They could write out those checks and send them in because we have to buy this. They're depending upon us. And not only that, they get bus tickets, hundreds and even thousands of bus tickets distributed to so many people who need transportation assistance. We can't do it without each and every one of you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You give online at nlecstl.org. Your prayers are urgently needed at this time. Come on, you watch the Zaki Baruti show. You hear about the various issues. Now it's important that we respond to those issues by helping so many people that have fallen through the safety nets in spite of the promises of the politicians. So many people are hurting right now. They're out there. They don't know where to go. But let's get our churches involved. Let's reach out. Let's help those that Jesus referred to. The least of these, after you've done to them, you've done it unto him. Let's help them right now. Please get involved. Call us at 314-421-3020 or share that much-needed gift at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org.
Welcome back to Conversation with Zaki Baruti. In the studio with me, Adolphus Pruitt, for only a couple more minutes. And very quick of the NAACP. So people should be outraged, especially from our community and any progressive person outside of our community, about the inequity. I mean, we have not filled the equity level of reciprocity.
If I owed you some money, you be able to tell me how much I gave you and how much I came up short.
Right.
You should be demanding the same question. Same question applies when it comes to your government. Whether city government, state government, federal government, same thing applies. If I owe you some money and I gave you some, I guarantee you're going to tell me how much more I owe you.
So with that said, and you highlighted St. Louis County government, they have public meetings on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, yes.
So, and they have a part of that people who come and want to speak to the issue can speak. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So you're encouraging people to do that?
You should absolutely do that. And don't forget the police board meetings too. Absolutely,
yes. I've been to them in the past. Now, for anybody who would like to get a copy of this study that you just, the NAACP just done, how would they get in contact with you?
Give us a call, 314-361-8600, 314-361-8600, 314-361-8600. We return all calls.
Okay then, so finally, real quick, we made mention of them early on, your best president of the United States, he have a problem with us setting, they call it set aside and all of that?
The diversity, equity, and inclusion to him is a bad word. As far as he's concerned, it's the worst thing ever happened in this country, and we should
also,
be concerned about that.
Except though for Epstein, he hate that word.
Yeah, well, that too. That too. Well, no, he don't mind diversity, equity, inclusion when it comes to women. Only when it comes to giving out dollars.
All right. So any final word to our community in terms of uplifting statement right quick?
One thing. If you think there's something wrong and you're not saying something about it, you're not trying to do something about it, and you're not supporting somebody out here that's trying to do something about it, then shut up.
Yeah. I want to say shame, 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 okay? So I want to thank you for sitting in the chair and having this conversation. Yeah. And like to my audience, I always say that everybody needs to belong to an organization that speaks truth to power and working for the upliftment of humanity. We say join either the NAACP, but of course, the Universal African Peoples Organization.
Absolutely.
Also, when you go, make sure you vote, but when you go vote, know the issues. On that note, may God bless each and every one of you.